Glen.
Hi Stephanie.
How are you?
Very well, thank you.
It's good. So Glen, when did you first realise you were gifted?
Well, it's a difficult question to answer because, you know, you spend your whole life being gifted. You know, you're born with it. So because you're born with it, you know, it's difficult to say what age you actually became gifted. I guess I guess you've always had that, and I've always seen things. I've always had that ability to know things, I guess.
When did you first see spirits?
Again, you know, as a child, you just you start seeing spirits. You know, you wouldn't actually start seeing spirits, I suppose, but you are at an age where you don't really know what age you're at. You know, it's just you just start seeing things, and you're like, that's just weird, you know, and it is what it is, really. But you just see things as a child, I guess. You know, sensitive souls, sensitive children, I guess, see lots more than what we really would if you wasn't so sensitive, you know. And I think, yeah, I've always had the ability to see things as a child, you know. Looking back at your age, you know, your whole life, you've always seen things.
Yeah.
And just know, you know, I can feel energy, I can pretty much see it, I can see things, you know. And when you've got that, those kind of abilities, you know, it's difficult to say what age you're at or what, you know. As a child, you just start seeing things, and it can be pretty scary, really.
Yeah, do you mind me asking, like, what you saw the first time you saw a spirit?
Yeah, it was a very old man. He was in a top hat and towels, black and white, in a black cane, and that was a pretty scary thing to see, standing over your bed, you know.
Yeah.
And that's the first thing, first memory, I guess, of seeing what I saw.
Yeah, right.
Mm.
What was your first experience of awakening, and what age were you, do you think?
That was in my 20s. That was at a time when I was completely lost in life. Didn't know where I wanted to be, didn't know anything. I had a mortgage, a lot of financial pressure at the time. And that came at a time when I was pretty depressed. I was heavily in debt, and just completely lost within life. Didn't know where I belonged, didn't really want to be hairdressing anymore. And I think that for me was the start of it all. You know, the house I was living in was haunted. The energy in the house was always draining. And looking back now, that was always extremely draining. And you see, you know, you got these spirits coming through the house, and you just like, oh my gosh, you know, here we go again. It's happening again, you know. I had a horrific out-of-body experience, which wasn't good at all, and that for me really, you know, I was going through this on my own, so I didn't know what was happening. I didn't know how to handle it. I didn't know what to do. I slept a lot. I was always in tears. My mood, I was up and down like a yo-yo. I was being thrown about so much, and I didn't know what was happening at the time. I wasn't depressed. I started training at the gym. Started to do things to improve myself. You know, and that's what it was, really.
Was there people in your life who were telling you otherwise, who maybe like weren't believing you?
Yes.
Yeah.
People thought I was crazy.
Yeah.
I wasn't, but people thought I was. My aunt at the time was going to church a lot, so I went along with her. I guess something to grab hold of onto. Didn't really resonate, so I stopped going after a little while.
Yeah.
And then, you know, there were spirits everywhere in the house. It wasn't a good place to live. I lived there for 10 years before moving to Australia.
Wow,
But
yeah.
with that kind of thing going on, you know, you see things. You're seeing lights. You see orbs. You're seeing all sorts of different things, and it's that kind of awakening is kind of scary in a way because you don't know what's happening or you don't know how to deal with it, and you're on your own. People think you're going crazy, and yeah.
Yeah, right. So, how did tarot come into your life?
That again was in my early 20s. I was still hairdressing, pretty much working 5-6 days a week, plus doing mobile work as well, hairdressing, and that was hard. I hardly any money, and I joined a book club, basically, and I joined the book club because I just needed something to distract, I guess, from myself from normality of life, and I got a free gift that came with it, which was tarot cards and runestones.
Wow.
That's how tarot first came to my life. But because of the whole church thing, going to church and all that sort of stuff, I threw them away. I didn't learn them. I didn't even think. But now looking back, I made a massive mistake by doing that because with that, I guess, I could have learned them and I could have used those gifts, I guess,
To help other people.
to help myself get through what I was going through.
Yeah.
And tarot is a healing modality tool, you know, as well as a reading modality as well, I guess, you know. So that was that, and that's how I came. That's how tarot came into my life, you know, and basically, that's how it came into my life.
How long were you learning it for?
Well, tarot came back into my life in 2005, and tarot came back into my life in 2005. So I started my business up at 2020 of last year, and so it took me a long time to get confident with it and to actually learn what the cards were about and how to tune into the cards and how to receive a message from those cards, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But once tarot comes into your life, they never leave you. So they first came into my life when I was probably about 23, 24 in my life. And I was, you know, I've always messed around with that kind of stuff. Always went for readings and all that sort of stuff. So I guess, you know, tarot, never leaves your life. So they came back into my life in 2005 when I moved to Australia, which was good, which was a good point in life, do you know what I mean, at the time for me. So, and that was when I was ready to really dive into them and learn them properly, I guess.
Yeah. When did you conduct your first reading?
In a salon in Melbourne. Don't know what year, can't remember.
Yeah.
But it was in a salon in Melbourne on clients. Probably shouldn't have been doing it, but however, I did, and it was fine. The client asked me, so I said yes. I remember being extremely shaky. I was shaking. I was, oh my god! I was so nervous. I started sweating, dripping with sweat, and it wasn't pleasant feeling. Being anxious and nervous, and you know all those doubtful things going through your mind. What happens if it doesn't work? What happens if I get it wrong? What happens if, you know, I just did like a 3-card spread reading for clients. That's what I would do. And it was that point when the clients started to ask me more and more to do readings. So that's how my confidence started to build when I was doing the readings, I guess. That's how it started to happen.
Yep.
And then just one thing led on to another.
So why did you start up your business?
To help people. It's probably as much as I could, as much as I can, try and help as many people as I possibly can with what I do. I feel like it's important to help as many people, I guess, you know. I started up the business, that's one of the reasons why, because I have such a passion for tarot, and you know, when you have a passion for something, I guess you just got to go for it and do what you need to do, what your calling is, you know. And eventually what happens is you can ignore it as much as you want, that calling, and then the more you ignore it, the more it's going to come back stronger. So, and that's what happened to me. It got to a point where I was just like, can't do hairdressing anymore, can't do it anymore, I'm done with it, I'm sick of it. Not sick of it, but just can't do it anymore. It's like I've been forced out of it for some reason and into my business.
Yep.
And that's another reason why I started the business up, was so I could do what I do, which is what I'm passionate about.
Wow, yes. Could you please explain what clairsentience means?
Clear knowing. That's what it means. It's when you just know. You just know. You don't know how you know, but you just know what's happening or what's going to happen. You know, you can get messages as much as you want, and
Wow, yeah.
and you relay those messages to people. You know, you just don't know how. You know, you just know. It's like, for example, I guess one salon I was working at, I said to one of the girls, the owners are going to sell the salon, and she said no, I won't. I said, give it 4 months. I said, 4 months they're going to sell the salon. 4 months later, they sold the salon, and she was like, how did you know? I said, don't know, just knew.
Just do.
I just knew. And when you know, you just know. You got to trust your intuition.
Intuition. Yep. Wow, thank you, Glen.
You're
that was
welcome.
wonderful.
Thank you, Stephanie.
Thank you.